Welcome to Crazy Fun PE with Mrs. T, the podcast that's on a mission to make school fun again. Every Monday morning, I'll wake you up with unique PE games, creative teaching ideas, and simple management tips that get kids moving, laughing, and having a total blast. Sometimes with a squeaky rubber chicken or two. I'm your host, Mrs. T. Now let's get moving. Hey there, PE friends. Welcome back to another episode of Crazy Fun PE with Mrs. T. Can you believe we are already talking about September? If you're anything like me, your gym's going to be filled with excited students and brand new kindergartners, returning fifth graders, lots of energy, and quite possibly a bit of chaos. It's back to school season. Yay! All right, so today I want to help make your September PE planning simple because there's something I believe pretty strongly about in PE, and that is that September isn't about teaching sports. It's way more about teaching the other skills that make every other month successful. And if you can get September right, October through May becomes so much easier. So today I am sharing the 6 essential skills that I focus on in PE every September. So let's jump in. First up, skill number 1, rules, routines, and safety. Again, I don't think the most important thing you teach in September is throwing or catching or dribbling or basketball or soccer or volleyball. I think it's routines. September is about building the foundation that will make the rest of your school year fun, organized, and successful. Before we ever worry about throwing and kicking and dribbling and all that stuff, I want my students to know exactly how we do things in our gym. How do we enter the gym? What does it mean when I blow my whistle 3 times? Where do we line up? How do we clean up equipment? Those routines may not seem exciting on day 1, but trust me, they will save you hours of instructional time and classroom management headaches throughout the year. I also like to keep my expectations really simple. So instead of giving students a list of 15 rules that they're going to forget by the time they get back to their regular classroom, I just teach one rule that I call respect 4. Respect yourself, respect the teacher, respect others, and respect the equipment. Those 4 simple expectations cover just about every situation that comes up in the gym. And if you are looking for a great way to introduce safety to your younger students, one of my all-time favorite read-alouds is Officer Buckle and Gloria by Peggy Rathman. It's funny, engaging. It opens the door to some awesome conversations about why listening, following directions, and making safe choices, it helps everyone have more fun. Remember, every extra minute that you invest in teaching routines, safety, and respect during September will pay you back for the next 8 or 9 months, which is pretty darn awesome. Next up is skill number 2, personal space and pathways. So after teaching rules, routines, and safety, I move into personal space and pathways, and here is why. If your students can't move safely in general space without bumping into each other, everything else becomes a lot harder. Before basketballs or jump ropes or pool noodles, I want my students to learn how to travel safely through the gym, change directions, freeze on command, and be aware of the people around them. We talk about and we practice personal space, general space, straight pathways, curved pathways, changing directions, stopping, freezing, all of that stuff. Those simple movement skills become the foundation for every game, activity, and sport that we'll play throughout the year. So taking a little extra time to teach spatial awareness in September makes classroom management so much easier for the rest of the school year. One of my favorite ways to introduce this concept is with a fun read aloud called Personal Space Camp. And that is written by Julia Cook. It just does a really good job of helping kids understand the idea of having their own personal space bubble. And then we get up and put those ideas into action with simple activities using polyspots and kind of activities where every student has their own safe home base or their magic bubble in the gym. And of course, you all know by now that I am about finding unique ways to make every topic, no matter what it is, fun. So with that, one of my all-time favorite games that reinforces personal space and pathways is Bubble Cars. It's a crazy fun whole class game where students use hula hoops as cars. They also get to pretend to be police officers and hand out traffic tickets and send their classmates to driving school to get more practice. It's silly, active, with some dramatic play thrown in there. It's a blast. I will leave the link to how to play that awesome game in the show notes for you. Students absolutely love it, and they don't even realize how much they're learning about spatial awareness. Okay, then we move to number 3, locomotor skills, which honestly, you don't just teach this and move on. I feel like we are pretty much teaching locomotor skills all year long and in every grade. But I put most of my teaching focus on 8 key locomotor skills, including walking, running, skipping, galloping, sliding, hopping, leaping, and jumping. These really are the building blocks of almost everything that we do in elementary PE. Don't rush through them. Make them fun. Play games like Simon Says, Follow the Leader, and locomotor skills charades. Use music. Have them pretend to be animals with games like Red Light, Green Light, or the game I play with animals is Zoo, Stop, Go. So the stronger these movement patterns become, you guessed it, the more successful students will be all year long. I have a ton of awesome locomotor skill practice games in my book, 59 Crazy Fun PE Games That Rock. You can also find all of the rules, equipment, and how to play details in my blog post on my website for free. So whenever I'm talking about a game on here, you can go right to my website, search it up, and just read the blog post with all of the game, how to play information on there for free. So it's hard to narrow it down, but out of all the games, but I would say Candyland Trail and Hot Lava River Run are incredible locomotor skill practice games for K2. And then Float Your Boat is amazing for practicing locomotor skills with your 3rd through 5th graders. I even played that one with 6th, 7th, and 8th. I just really, really like it. They're all in my book, but again, I will leave the blog post links for those games in the show notes for you so that you can click to them very quickly. Okay, the 4th skill I really focus on during September is balance and body control. It's funny when most people think about PE, they think about running fast or throwing a ball, but before students can do any of those things well, they need to learn how to control their own bodies. I always tell my students, you have to learn how to control your body before you can control a ball. One thing that's really important is to demonstrate the skill first. Model what good balance looks like, and then give your students plenty of time to practice. I like to start with static balance or simply keeping your body still without falling over. We'll do fun challenges like the flamingo stand, tree pose, airplane pose, or even balancing like a beanbag on different body parts. The kids think they're just playing, but they're actually building some really important movement skills. Once they're feeling confident standing still, then I move to dynamic balance exercises, which is balancing while your body is moving. So activities like walking on floor lines, heel to toe walking, stepping over cones, or like following simple balance pathways. Those are all really great ways to help students improve their coordination and body control. The key is to keep it short, fun, and consistent. Just a few minutes of balance practice each class in September can really make a huge difference in your students' confidence and movement skills for the rest of the school year. Then we take those skills and practice them with super fun movement games like strike a pose and reverse Pac-Man tag, where balance and body control and quick reactions all kind of come together. And every once in a while, I'll even mix things up and do some Cosmic Kids yoga. Love that. The kids love it too. And you can get all of those videos for free on YouTube. They have all different adventure themes like Pokemon and all sorts of fun stuff. All right, we are up to skill number 5. Important stuff here, cooperation and teamwork. And again, honestly, this might be the most important skill I teach all of September. And then you keep teaching it and teaching it. But one of my favorite things about PE is that we get to teach life skills. Winning is fun for sure, but learning how to encourage teammates, communicate, share, solve problems, those are skills that students will use forever. If you've listened to episode number 1 of this podcast, you know that one of my biggest goals is to make school fun again. And I truly believe that happens when kids learn to encourage each other, include everyone, celebrate each other's successes, and realize they're stronger together than they are alone. That's why every year I read my all-time favorite teamwork book, Swimmy, by Leone, I don't really know. But it's such a powerful reminder that every child has unique strengths, and when we work together, we can accomplish incredible things. So throughout September, we don't just talk about teamwork, we practice it every single day. Learn what words like cooperation and communication and trust and responsibility and encouragement actually look and sound like in the gym. We'll even act out good teamwork behaviors through little skits, practice problem-solving things together, problem-solving problems, whatever, and play cooperative games like chain tag and turtle tag and catch and stack. And, I almost forgot, my outrageously fun 20-minute win it team challenges. I love cooperative teamwork games because they remind students sometimes the goal isn't beating somebody else. Sometimes the goal is simply helping everyone succeed. And here's one little tip that's made a huge difference in my gym. I always start with simple partner activities before moving to larger teams. So as students build trust and confidence with one partner, they're much more successful working together in groups later on. Because at the end of the day, I'm not just trying to teach kids, again, how to throw a ball or play a game. I'm trying to help them become kind teammates, encouraging classmates, and just really good people. And if we can do that, then we have accomplished something way bigger than just teaching PE. All right, we have made it. Finally, number 6 is respect, manners, and sportsmanship. All right, let's talk about respect. If you've listened to previous episodes, you already know I have one rule. I call it respect yourself, respect the teacher, respect others, respect the equipment. That's it. Simple, easy to remember, and honestly, it covers almost everything. But I also want my students to understand what respect actually looks like. It's listening when someone else is speaking. It's using kind words, waiting your turn, accepting mistakes with a positive attitude, respecting different ability levels, and remembering that every single person in our gym deserves to feel valued and included. One thing I insist on in my class is good manners. Please and thank you aren't optional. They're part of who we are as a PE family. We play a super fun game called Shop Till You Drop that reinforces good manners. The kids love it, and so do I. I made it up a bunch of years ago, and it has just evolved into one of our absolute favorites. I will leave the link to that game for you in the show notes. And if you already have my PE games book, it is game number 32 in my book. I also spend time teaching what it means to be a good sport, because sportsmanship is about so much more than winning and losing. It's playing by the rules, being honest, encouraging your teammates, congratulating others, trying your best, and showing self-control even when things don't go your way. One of my favorite books to spark those conversations is The Recess Queen, because it naturally leads into talking about kindness, inclusion, leadership, and treating others with respect. And here's one final tip that has made a huge difference for me over the years. I try to catch students doing something right just as often, if not more often, than I catch them doing something wrong. When we intentionally praise kindness, good manners, good behavior, and great sportsmanship, these positive behaviors begin to spread, and before long, you've created a gym where students aren't just learning PE skills, they're learning how to become respectful teammates, encouraging classmates, and caring human beings. And to me, that's a pretty awesome thing. So I have these little sports joke stationery cards that I make it a point to give one out to a student every single class. Just a quick, hey, thanks for trying your best during our basketball game today, or I appreciate how you showed compassion for your classmate when you saw that they were sad or got hurt, whatever it is. But that little note or praise means so much to your students. The way we treat each other in September definitely determines the kind of culture that we will have in May. Well, my friend, I know that was a lot of information packed into one episode, but remember, you do not have to implement everything at once. You can pick one thing that kind of resonated with you and go with it and leave the rest behind. My hope is that you walked away with one or two ideas that you can start using in your gym this September to help build a fun, safe, and very successful school year for your students. And if you are thinking, Mrs. T, I need to go back and see all those books and games and vocabulary words and lesson ideas and everything that you talked about, do not worry. I've got you covered. This has been put together into a very detailed blog post that literally includes everything we talked about today, plus all of the direct links to all the read-aloud books, the PE games, the free downloads that are included, the lesson ideas, all of that stuff. I'm going to leave that direct link to that blog post for you so you can just go right there and soak everything in. Soak everything up, whatever you're supposed to say. Okay. I'll also include a link to my complete September PE lesson plan bundle in today's show notes if you'd like to save yourself a whole bunch of planning time this school year. Remember, September isn't about teaching every sport under the sun. It's about building the foundation for an incredible year. Invest a little extra time teaching routines, movement skills, teamwork, and respect now, and your students and your future self will thank you all year long. All right, guess what time it is? Yep, corny sports joke time. So here it goes. What do you get when you bowl when eating fruit? A banana split. Yep, I hope you're laughing at that one. If today's episode gave you one idea you can use in your gym tomorrow, I would love it if you'd follow this new podcast, leave a quick 5-star review, and share it with a PE bestie or two of yours. But until next time, remember, if you had fun, you totally won. Now get out there and let's make school fun again together.